In this tutorial, we'll take our TV we made in the previous tutorial, link in the description, and we will add the ability to turn the screen on or off with a button press. It also resumes from where the video left off, but you can also make it reset to the start of the video every time you turn the TV on. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so before we can actually make the display turn on or off, we actually need some way to interact with the display. So we're going to set up some interaction code. If you already have interaction code, you can skip this part of the tutorial, else we can go ahead and make the interaction code. So the first thing we're going to do is open up our content browser. We're going to go to our first person folder, then we're going to go to input, and what we're going to do is we're going to add buttons to our keyboard which will interact with the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our actions folder. We're going to right click, go to input, and then we're going to add an input action. We're going to call this IA interact. So this is our interact button. Then we're going to go to our input folder. Then we're going to go to this IMC, which is our input mapping context. We're going to open it up. We're going to click on the drop down under mappings. We're going to click the plus button to add a new input action. We're going to click on none and change this to IA interact. And you're going to see this keyboard icon. Now if you click on this and you press a key on your keyboard, this will be the binding for interacting with the TV. So what we're going to do is we're going to press E, because that's how I'm going to interact with the TV. You can choose whatever button you want, but I picked E for this. Awesome. And what we're going to do is we're going to just close out of that. We're just going to go to file and save all, so we save everything. We're going to open up a content browser again. Then we're going to go to our first person blueprint and our BP first person character. We're going to go ahead and dock this window up here. And now we're just going to search for a nice open spot for us to put our code in. So we're going to right click here because it's a nice open spot. We're going to type in IA underscore and we're going to find this IA interact. If you click on that, now we have our interact input action. Then what we want to do is, well, you can interact with the screen multiple ways. I'm going to be using a line trace. Now what the line trace will do is we'll practically check where I'm looking. And if I'm looking at the screen, I'll be able to interact with the screen. Okay, so how do we set that up? Well, first we're going to drag off the started pin over here. Make sure started is used, not triggered, because using triggered will call the turn TV on or off function multiple times. So we're going to drag off started and we're going to type in line trace. Then we're going to select line trace by channel. We're going to just drag this to the side to make a bit more space. Okay, now it needs a start position. This will be the location of our camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to top left, drag in our first person camera, and then we're going to drag off that and type in location. We're going to find this get world location. We're going to go ahead and add that in there, and then we're going to connect the return value into the start. So now we have the starting position of the line trace. But how do we know where to actually shoot the line trace to interact with the object? Well, it's pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to drag off the first person camera here, and we're going to get the rotation. So we're going to type in rotation, and we're going to get world rotation. And then the problem is with this value is it's kind of hard to understand. We need a better way to actually work with this. So what we can do is we can actually drag off the return value and type in forward vector. And if we apply that, this will practically get the forward side of our camera. And now we have a way to, well, check where our player is looking. Now all we want to do is we want to drag off this get forward vector and just do a multiply node. So type in multiply. And all we have to do is we have to go to this bottom pin over here, we right click on it and convert it to a float double precision. And this value over here is the distance of our interaction. So if our interact code or if our interaction distance is 100, this means that we can only use the screen from a certain distance away. If it's 1000, we can use it pretty far away. We need to set the default value to 1500. Then I'm going to right click on it and promote to a variable. This variable we're going to call interaction distance. So now you know that is how far you can interact. We're going to save that, and then we're going to go to the top right under details. We're going to set it to private, and then we can go ahead and compile and save. And now all we have to do is we have to multiply, or not multiply, we have to add the world location and this multiplication together. So let's drag off the get world location and do a plus node, so an add operator, and then we add the multiply to the bottom pin and connect that to the end. And now we know where our player is looking. But how do we actually interact with the object? Well, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is we have to go to this line trace by channel and drag off the out hit. Then we have to type in break hit results, and now you're going to find this node. You just want to click the drop down, and now we'll find this thing called hit actor. So this will be the actor we hit. Now we could technically cast to this actor, and that would be really easy to set up, but it is pretty unoptimized and not recommended. So we'll be using blueprint interfaces. If you don't know what a blueprint interface is, it's practically a file in Unreal Engine that tells Unreal Engine, okay, this actor has these functions, and so Unreal Engine can call those functions without having to cast to those objects. So it's more optimized in that way because you don't create hard references in RAM. So how do we set that up? Well, it's pretty simple. We're going to open up a content browser. We're going to go back to the content folder. We're going to open up a TV folder. We're going to right click, go to blueprint, and we're going to go to blueprint interface and click on that. We're going to rename this BPI for blueprint interface underscore is interactable. So I like to rename my blueprint interfaces to questions. So if something has this blueprint interface, it means that it is interactable. Awesome. So let's go ahead and open up, and there's going to be this new function here on the top right. I'm just going to call this interact. Now you can actually call this open or close door. The problem is that that is too specific, and I kind of want to make this tutorial a bit more general. So I'm going to add multiple interacts with different numbers, and those will translate to functions like opening and closing doors. Okay, so I'm going to compile and save, and now we're going to go back to our first person character, and all we're going to do is we're going to drag off our hit actor, and we're going to type in interact. So you're going to see this BPI is interactable. You just want to click on this interact message, and then you just want to connect that. So I'm going to select all of this code over here, actually including the IA. We're going to press C to comment this code, and we're going to just change this to turn interact 1. So we might have multiple interacts because I'm planning to make a video in the future on how to change the volume of the TV and how to add channels. But for now we only have this one interact. Awesome. So let's go ahead and actually add this interact code to our TV. So to do that, we're going to open up our content browser, open up our BPTV. Then we're going to go to top class settings over here. We're going to go to bottom right to details, and we're going to find this implemented interfaces. We're going to click add. And we're going to type in BPI underscore is interactable. Okay. And you'll see in the bottom left, there'll be this interfaces tab now under my blueprint. You'll find this interact here. All you have to do is just right click and implement event. So now when this is called, we'll actually turn the TV on or off. So how are we going to make the TV turn on or off? Well, it's pretty simple. We're going to drag off the event interact and do a flip flop. So we're going to type in flip flop and just want to select that. And what happens with a flip flop is when A is called, the next time this is called, B will be called, and it just flip flops between these two. Okay, so when we click our first time, when we interact for the first time, let's actually open up our media source. So this code we had in begin play, we're just going to disconnect that and move that to the A pin of our flip-flop. Okay, perfect. Now how do we actually stop the media from playing and close it? Well, it's pretty simple. We drag off the TV media player and type in close, and then we just add that, and then we just connect the B pin into the close. So now when it's pressed once, it will open up the video. When it is pressed twice, it will actually close it. Now to make sure this works perfectly fine, you have to do a few things to your video file. Firstly, you want to go to your content folder, go to movies, and this is where my videos are stored. You want to make sure that you go to your media player here, or the media video here, and make sure play on open is yeah, that's totally fine. It's fine to have that. Loop is totally fine. I find that these two doesn't always work, but you also want to make sure that when you're on your media texture, so my media media textures, this empty TV. If I open it up, you want to make sure auto clear is on, so that when you close your media, it will actually black out the screen. If you don't have this, then your media will kind of look paused and it wouldn't look like the screen actually turned off. And that's the most important settings. So, okay, that should be ready to go. So let's go ahead and test that. We're going to go to our first person map, hit play. And when I press E on the TV, you can see it actually plays. And when I press E, it actually closes. If I press E, it opens. When I press E, it closes. Now, there is a small input lag with this. Unfortunately, in Unreal Engine, the media that played through most of the media players, they have this problem where they need to warm up. So sometimes videos take a while to open, so there's a short input delay. For me, I don't really care too much about that because most of the time, TVs in your game, they're not the most important thing, right? That's just a side thing. But if you really cared about input lag, you'd probably set up multiple media players. You'd switch between media players, you'd switch materials, and it's just such a mess, which I don't think is worth it to deal with in this small case. But there is one thing we need to talk about. So if I hit play, and I go ahead and press E on this TV, you're going to see it plays, but if I open it up again, it just restarts from the beginning. So how do we actually make it follow from when it actually last closed? So that's pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to close out of this. We're going to go to our BPTV. And what we're going to do is we're going to seek to the position of the media player. So we're going to, on close, we should find out the current time in our media. And on open, we should just reopen from that position. So to do this, all we have to do is we have to drag off the beacon. Actually, we're going to make this a bit easier. We're going to go ahead, go to the bottom left and drag in our TV media player, get TV media player, drag off that and get, I believe it's duration, get duration. No, that's the media's duration. And we're going to type in player. Get player, get time. So you just want to make sure you add the get time. And now this is the time our media is currently at. So all we have to do is we have to drag off this get time, promote to a variable, and this will be the last known time. So we're going to rename it to last known time. We're going to go ahead and drag the B value into this and plug that into close. So practically this will save our seek value. Okay, so now all we have to do is after set looping, we drag off that and do a seek node. Now it's going to have a target. This target's going to be our media player. So we're going to go to bottom left and drag in our TV media player. And we're going to drag that into the target. Now we have to drag in our last known time here. So we're going to drag in our last known time and get it. Now there is one wonderful problem with this. This won't work. For some reason, with specifically the Electra player, the problem is that when you seek, while it is opening this file, it will not seek. So it won't actually resume from the position it needs to. Now, there is a function called open source latent, which will return when the opening process is done so we can seek, but I find it doesn't work at all. So how do we actually make this seek properly? Well, it's pretty simple. We're going to go to our begin play and we're gonna drag actually we're going to go to bottom left and go get our TV media player, and we're going to drag off that and do a on we're going to do an on event. So we're going to see bind event to on media open. You just want to select that. Awesome. And now you want to drag the begin play into that, and then you want to drag off the event pin here on media opened, and we're going to type in custom to add a custom event. We're going to rename this to on media opened event. So this is when the media is fully done open so we can seek, and all we have to do is just move our seek code over here. So we're going to select the seek plus these two and press Ctrl X to cut them from there. We're going to move them up here and connect it to the on media opened event. And now we're going to just clean up a bit here. So let's do that. We're going to disconnect this TV media player, grab one from the bottom left and move that over here. And we're going to select all of this over here, press C, and this will be our turn TV on or off. So this will be our comment, and here in the top we're going to select this, press C, and we'll call this seek when we can. Okay, and now we've cleaned this up, we'll just move them closer together. And this is our fully completed code, so we're going to compile and save. We're going to go to our first person map and let's test it. If I press E, let's let it play for a while, and I stop, and I come back, it will actually resume from the last position. So that is fully sorted. We made a CV that you can turn on and off with a small input delay. But yeah, so that's it for this tutorial, guys. In the next tutorial, we'll be adding volume controls to this TV. So yeah, without further ado, actually, I forgot how to outro. So thank you guys for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. Hit like if you liked the video, hit dislike if you didn't, and see you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody.
Just trying to get something.